Hello students, good morning and happy new year to all. Happy Ugadi, happy Gudi Padwa. Yes, today I am back with some new important topics of 19th March. Let's start our discussion. Okay, so here are some of the important topics. First very important topic is about the impact of Strait of Hormuz blockade on the internet. From last few days, we are discussing about the Strait of Hormuz, about its location and all the other things. But now, today, we shall be discussing about the blockade, impact of blockade on the internet. Our second important article is related to polity, so it's related to closure motion. So, bulletin motion is part of it, and third is related to Directorate of Enforcement. So there were issues in the state of West Bengal. There were clashes between ED and CM of West Bengal. Fourth topic is the new scheme, that is Bhavya scheme, which is initially approved by the cabinet. And at last, there will be a practice question as we are doing daily. And finally, places in news. So every day I'm giving two or three important places in news. So you have to see the location and you have to read about the important prelims related facts. So let's start our discussion. Okay, so here is the article. The impact of Strait of Hormuz blockade on the internet. So, because of the West Asia crisis, we are seeing the issues, challenges around Strait of Hormuz, and no, the visible impact is about the crisis or emergency of oil or natural gas, etc. But through light data travels under the mechanism of total internal reflection. So, these very thin cables are laid inside the ocean floor, and these cables carry internet in different countries. So internet is carried through these cables, and these are laid under the ocean floor. Even though many people think that works through satellite, but mostly actually it travels, most of the internet travels through these cables. So around 90% internet travels through these type of cables only. Now inside them, information is sent as a tiny pulse of light using lasers. All these are the lasers. All these are the light. So information travel in the form of pulse of light using lasers. Now, these light signals move extremely fast through glass fibers. Okay, so no, these are glass fibers, and this is the information traveling. So no, these light signals carry different kind of things like messages, like videos, audios, emails, etc., etc. So when you send a message from India, let's say any European country, that is France, so it likely travels through these cables under the sea. So this is the complete background, what we can see. Now, what will happen during a war or conflict? See, during war or conflict, these cables become very, very vulnerable. Not because they are directly targeted by any country, but because of the chaos which is happening around them. See, I will explain. For example, during a conflict, so all the ships in the conflict zone will move very suddenly, right, to avoid the attacks. So when they drop or drag their, see, for example, this is a ship and this is an anchor attached to the ship, and this anchor is floating in the sea floor. So when these ships are moving very suddenly to avoid the attacks, and so they will drop their anchors, and these anchors can exceed. For example, here is a sea cable, here is optical fiber cable. So when this ship is moving very fast, no, so it is very likely that these anchors will cut these cables accidentally. So no, it's very similar. It's very similar to analogy. For example, you are digging somewhere and accidentally you cut a wire. So similarly, accidentally these anchors can also cut the optic fiber cable. Now, the more bigger problem is the repair of these OFCs, because in normal situations, some special ships are sent to the location to fix the cables, and it is fixed in few days. But in a war or conflict zone, sending such slow-moving repair ships becomes very risky. So repairs can be delayed for a long period of time, for month, 2 months, or 6 months. So if multiple cables in important regions, see important regions like the Strait of Hormuz, Red Sea, these are some of the important regions which are under conflict also. And multiple a number of cables are being laid under the ocean floor. So because of this, even the backup routes for the internet also fail. And because of this, as a result, internet services can slow down or even can stop in some of the regions. And this does not just affect the social media. So don't think like this that no, if internet is shut down, social media is shut down. No, it's a very big problem. But here it can disrupt various important services like the banking services, like the cloud services, etc. etc. So even though these cable are not visible to us, they are critical part of the how the modern world is functioning. So this is the overall gist that what is the impact of war on the optic fiber cables, etc. The operations in various continents like Asia, Africa, or Europe, no, various countries which are dependent, operations are being impacted. So these are the important regions where it is impacting. And yes, it is no discussing about the ship anchors dragging on the seabed. We already discussed it, and all the more bigger problem is the specialized repair vessels. No, because of the conflict, it is very difficult for the repair vessels to reach in those locations. Okay, so these were the possible impacts which we discussed: internet shutdowns, blackouts, disruption of cloud computing, global supply chain, etc. etc. Now, since all these locations were in news, so I thought let's discuss briefly from exam point of view. So it will help you in the exam also. So first of all, let's discuss about the Persian Gulf. So this is Persian Gulf. So first of all, let's discuss the location. This is Persian Gulf. This is Gulf of Oman. So what is connecting these two gulf? It is the Strait of Hormuz. So Strait of Hormuz in between of Persian Gulf and Gulf of Oman. Second important thing what you should know is Persian Gulf is bordered by the eight countries. Now what are those eight countries? They are Iran, Iraq, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Qatar, UAE, that is United Arab Emirates, and Oman. Now, I have made a small mnemonic so that you can easily remember also. So, the mnemonic is Iraq, Iran keeps Saudi boys quiet under oil. Okay, so I'm writing here also. Iraq, Iran keep Saudi boys quiet under oil. So Iraq, Iran, clear. This is Kuwait, this is Saudi, this is Bahrain, this is Qatar, this is UAE, and this is Oman. So in this way, you can easily remember these terms because no, it can be directly asked in UPSC. So first important thing that Persian Gulf is connected to Gulf of Oman through Strait of Hormuz. Second important thing that it is bordered by eight countries. What are those eight countries? We learned through this mnemonic. Now let's discuss other important things for exam. So I think we discussed it is an extension of Gulf of Oman and it is connected. It connects Indian Ocean via Strait of Hormuz. Okay. So it is also called as the Arabian Gulf or Gulf of Iran. Third is the countries we already discussed. Now see, it says to the west it connects to a large river delta and that delta is called Shat al Arab. Here, more important thing is the waters from two major rivers, that is Euphrates and Tigris, flow into the Gulf. Why it is important? Because I think in 2024, UPSC has asked a question related to Red Sea. So there, one statement was that no river flows into Red Sea. So for that, you at least you must have an idea. For example, if for the Persian Gulf, now I am discussing that two major rivers, that is Euphrates and Tigris, flow into it. Maybe you don't remember the name of the river. Now at least you have an idea that no, it is connected to some delta and two major rivers flows into it. So now, no, even if UPSC tries to confuse you, you will have in your mind that no, two major rivers flows into it. So this statement is wrong. That's why it's very important to focus on all these points. That two major rivers flow into it. This is first important. And if you can remember the name, then it's okay. Euphrates and Tigris. Now, some of the important islands in the Gulf of Oman. So, one important country that is Bahrain, it is also island. So, this Bahrain is located in Persian Gulf. Second important island is the Kesham Island. I think I have given you also to look for its location. I think yesterday or day before yesterday. So, Kesham Island is the largest island in Persian Gulf. And okay, Kesham Island in Persian Gulf. I think it belongs to Iran, Kesham Island. And Al Safaniya, the world's largest offshore oil field, is also located in Persian Gulf. So these small important facts are important for other government exams also, for state PSCs also. So what all important we discussed here? I think about the 8 countries we discussed. Then we discussed that about the 2 major rivers. Then we discussed about the islands and Al Safaniya, the world's largest offshore oil field. Okay, so see here, Keshem Island is here. Okay, so it belongs to Iran. And after that, I think we discussed about the Bahrain also. So Bahrain, yes. So Bahrain is also important island here. This is Strait of Hormuz. We already discussed. Yes, I think we discussed all the important things. Now about the Strait of Hormuz. Since Red Sea, Strait of Hormuz, and Persian Gulf are in news, so that's why we are discussing. So see, I think Strait of Hormuz we discussed 2 or 3 times. That's why I haven't given 7, 8 points related to it. Just no, just a passing reference since we are discussing the locations. So this is Persian Gulf. Somewhere here is the Strait of Hormuz, and this is the Gulf of Oman. So Strait of Hormuz is a critical narrow waterway between Iran and Oman. So this is Iran, and this part is Oman. So it is located between Iran and Oman. Now, some of the important points related to Red Sea. Okay, so first of all, let's see its location. No, some of the locations which are visible in the map. So this is Red Sea, okay, and this is Gulf of Aden. Red Sea is connected to Gulf of Aden. Right, yes, okay. So Red Sea is connected to Gulf of Aden through Strait of Bab al Mandab. After this, so this is at the south. Now, if we look towards north, so Red Sea is connected to Mediterranean Sea through the Suez Canal, and at the left we have Suez Canal. At the right side we have Gulf of Aqaba. So in locations we don't use left, right. We use west or east. So in the west side we have Gulf of Suez, and right side we have Gulf of Aqaba. So I think these things were visible in the map. And yes, one more important thing that the bordering countries of the Red Sea. So Red Sea have 6 bordering countries, and those countries are Egypt, Sudan, Eritrea, Saudi, and Yemen. So here Egypt, Sudan, Eritrea, Saudi Arabia, Yemen. Okay, sorry, there are 5 countries. I think we are missing. I think one. Just a second. Okay, we are missing here. We were missing Djibouti. Sorry. Okay, so here we have 6 countries. So for this, you can remember in this way the mnemonic Y seats. So Y for Yemen, Saudi, Egypt, Eritrea, Djibouti, and Saudi. Sorry, Sudan. So Y seats can be the mnemonic to remember this. So I think all the visible things we have discussed. Now discuss other important things. So Red Sea is a long, narrow sea forming a major rift system. Rift system means, for example, these are two plates, tectonic plates, and because of the convectional currents which are generated in the mantle, so these plates are rifted apart. So when they are rifted apart, so what we have a geological feature what we call as rift valley. So in the same way, Red Sea here these plates are moving apart, and hence Red Sea is created. That's why we call it as rift valley. Okay, so this was the thing. I think yes. And about the location, we already discussed that it extends southeast from Suez to Bala al Mandab Strait, and it is connecting Mediterranean Sea to Arabian Sea through Gulf of Aden. Okay, no, it's not Mediterranean Sea. It's connecting Red Sea to Arabian Sea through Gulf of Aden. Okay. Now, some of the other features. So I think yes, it is formed by continental rifting. This we all know. Important thing is it includes Gulf of Suez and Gulf of Aqaba. So where Gulf of Suez and Aqaba are? So this is Gulf of Suez, this one, and this is Gulf of Aqaba. Now, it is characterized by fringing coral reefs, axial troughs, volcanic islands, etc., etc. So, it is also very important thing to note here that corals are present here. No, it will help you to eliminate any option in UPSC. So some of the corals are also present here. Now, Red Sea region receives very little precipitation in any form, and this statement was asked in exam only. So, see, these are some of the these are some of the very important statements. See, I think UPSC has given these two statements. First was it receives very little precipitation in any form. So, see, this any was extreme word in any statement. And here, no water enters the Red Sea from rivers and rainfall is scant. So here, this no word is also very extreme. So whenever you read about any topic, no, see, for example, any topic is in news. So just go through that topic from a trusted website. So for example, you are reading 10 points about any topic. For example, if I am reading about the Red Sea, maybe I will forget other points. But if in any statement I read any extreme statement like never, like no, like any, so I will remember those kind of statements. So at least even if you don't remember all these things, but at least remember some of the statements where extreme words are used. For example, if you would have idea about second statement, then no, this statement you can easily say, okay, this might be correct, that it receives a very little precipitation, because it's not saying that it receives no precipitation. So it's in a form of general statement. But this is very extreme statement that no water enters the Red Sea. So these kind of statements you have to focus. You just open all the content and just go through in 1 or 2 minutes. No, wherever you see any extreme statement, just underline it, just circle it, and focus on those statements while revising for the prelims. So in this way, you read about any topic. No, related to bulletin in parliamentary procedure. So what is the context? The Lok Sabha bulletins demand for grants of 53 lakh crore. So first of all, let's discuss the basic concepts. See, as you know, in India, government cannot spend money on its own, right? Government cannot spend money on its own. So, to spend money, it must take approval from the parliament. Now, to take approval from the parliament, every ministry presents what we call as demand for grants. So demand for grants basically means how much money any ministry will need for the next financial year. Now these demands are discussed and then voted upon in only in Lok Sabha. Only demand for grants can be voted only in Lok Sabha. Last Rajya Sabha can just discuss it. What is the reason for that? Because Lok Sabha represents the people and controls the government finances, while Rajya Sabha will only discuss it and it cannot vote for them. However, there is limited time in Parliament to discuss every ministry in detail, right? So whatever demands which remain undiscussed, they are passed together using special procedure, what we call it as bulletin. So bulletin is, basically a type of motion that is closure motion. So it is a type of closure motion. So if we don't have much time to discuss about each and every ministry, then we use bulletin. So this means that all the discussions are put to vote without any further discussion, and they are automatically approved, no, without wasting any time. So in this case, what is given in the article, in this case, how bulletin was used, since Lok Sabha approved 53 lakh crore of expenditure using bulletin. So only a few ministries were discussed, like Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Railways, etc., etc. So this whole process is an important part of the budget procedure, and this ensures that government spending gets parliamentary approval. So this was the complete gist of how bulletin works. Now, so I think this was the summary. Lok Sabha approved demand for grants, okay, and it used bulletin procedure without any much discussion because as only two ministries were discussed, were consulted. And here demand for grants voted only in Lok Sabha. Okay, I think this was it for the summary. Now let's discuss about the closer motion. Okay, so since to discuss anything in parliament, we need motion, and so closer motion is a type of motion only. So, what is the purpose of that? Mainly, its purpose is to cut short the debate on any matter before the house because we don't have sufficient amount of time to discuss about no matters of each and every ministry. So, if the motion is approved by the house, debate is stopped, and then motion is put to vote. So, what are this? Here are various type of closer motions and bulletin is one of the type of closure motion. So let's discuss briefly about the other motions also. So what is simple closure? Simple closure means when all the matters are sufficiently discussed. Then after that, that motion is put to vote. So here matters are sufficiently discussed. After that, second type of motion is the motion, closure by compartments. So it happens when a bill is very lengthy, when all the content is very lengthy. So the no lengthy resolutions are put in parts. For example, various parts are made that this part is related to this topic, this part is related to this topic, and then debate happens part by part and not topic by topic. So, for example, five topics are in this part, five topics are in this part, five topics are in this part. So discussion will happen part by part and not by topic by topic. After that, third provision we have about the kangaroo closure. So in this kangaroo closure, what is the thing? No, only the important clauses are taken for debate and voting. So not each and every clause is taken since we have crunch of time. So only important clauses we will take. And finally, the bulletin closure, which is discussed in news. So under this, all the bills and resolutions no for example you are discussing for 1 hour and no even after discussing for 1 hour various undiscussed clauses are also remaining, so even those clauses are now put to vote without any discussion because we don't have time. That means no around by the end of the March final budget will be approved with financial bill, appropriation bill, etc, etc. So, first of all, let's discuss briefly what all stages are involved in the complete budget. So, first of all, budget will be presented in the parliament by finance minister. So, this is the first stage. After that, general discussion will happen. After general discussion, uh, all the clauses of the budget, all the matter in the budget will be scrutinized by the departmental standing committee. So here the scrutiny will happen by the departmental standing committees. After that, vote on demand for grants will happen. And this vote on demand for grants can only happen in Lok Sabha and not in Rajya Sabha. After that comes the passing of appropriation bill. Passing of appropriation bill. And finally comes the passing of finance bill. Now, what is the purpose of appropriation bill? So, this appropriation bill authorizes the government to withdraw money from consolidated fund of India for the approved expenses. And what is the purpose of finance bill? So, it is implemented. This it is passed to implement the taxation proposals for the upcoming year. So, basically, appropriation bill is related to the expenditure part of the government because from here money is withdrawn, right? From here, under this bill, money will be withdrawn from Consolidated Fund of India and will be used in various expenses. And here it is related to taxation proposals. That means through the taxation, revenue will come to the government. So it is related to the revenue or earning part of the government. So this is the complete procedure of how a final budget is approved. Okay, so I think we are done with this article also. Okay. Now comes third important article, that is Directorate of Enforcement, or that is ED. So what is the context here? So context is recently, no, there were clashes between the central agency, that is ED, and the state authority, that means the CM of West Bengal and other officials. They are interfering with the center's work. So state authorities are interfering with the center's work, and no, this is how all the controversy started. So after this, what happened? No, ED approached Supreme Court, and under what article ED approached? Under Article 32, that is right to constitutional remedies. So ED said that since state government is obstructing, so now ED want Supreme Court to issue the writs under Article 32. However, there were objections from West Bengal government. What is the reason? According to them, ED is not a person. ED is not a person, or ED is Article 131. It said that such disputes between center and states must be addressed under Article 131 and not under Article 32, which is related to fundamental rights of individuals, citizens, or persons in India. So, this was the complete story. This is how the controversy started. So see, this is what summary says that what was the thing? Supreme Court questioned that ED should whether ED should remain passive if its investigation was obstructed. How? Why Supreme Court said this? Because since ED went to Supreme Court under Article 32 and state government was objecting it. So Supreme Court is asking, so what do you want? Whether ED should not just passively see everything and do not take any action. So this was the stand of Supreme Court. So the case involves ED filing a petition under Article 32, and no, why it was filed? Because since ED was conducting raids under Prevention of Money Laundering Act, and and state government was obstructing it, and hence the government said that ED is not a person, and hence ED cannot claim fundamental rights under Article 32. Instead, Union should use Article 131. So this was the complete issue. Now, since all these three articles were in news, so let's just issue writs, and those writs will be related to only and only fundamental rights and no other reason. Article 226 under Article 226, writs can be issued by High Court, and those writs can be related to fundamental rights as well as other kind of legal ordinary rights. Under Article 131, who can take action? Supreme Court and not High Court. And actions related to what? Actions related to federal or state disputes, like dispute between central government and state government, or one state government and another state government, these kind of issues. So, who are the parties involved under Article 32? It will be between individuals and state. Under Article 226, individuals, some of the entities, and between state. And Article 131 is completely the federal issue. Now, jurisdiction is very important because under Article 32, if any citizen goes to the Supreme Court for the violation of fundamental right, the Supreme Court has to issue the writs and has to give the decision. So it's not like on the discretion of Supreme Court that whether Supreme Court will give the decision or not. So it is mandatory, and so this is very important. Now under Article 226, High Court can issue writs or cannot issue writs because it depends on the discretion. So it is voluntary. Under Article 131, this is very important because federal disputes can only be dealt by Supreme Court of India and not by other high courts. That's why we use the word exclusive and original. Original means directly a person can go to Supreme Court. This is original. That means at the first place, individual or any party can go to Supreme Court. Exclusive means it can go only to Supreme Court in the case of federal issues. Now, since the topic of ED was in news, so let's discuss some of the prelims related facts. So, what is ED? ED is Law Enforcement and Economic Intelligence Agency. Ministry is very important. So, it comes under Department of Revenue, Ministry of Finance. So, don't confuse with Ministry of Home Affairs or Ministry of Defense. So, what is the ministry? It is Ministry of Finance. Second important thing is that it is not formed under any act. So it is not a constitutional body, and also it is not a statutory body. But it functions, no, it has acts. So what are those acts? The functions of ED, the powers of ED extend to interstate as well as international financial crimes. So these all things are very important. As international financial crimes. So these all things are very important. Now briefly with an example, let's understand about the functioning of ED. So as we know that ED deals with the Money Laundering Act, about the no under FEMA Act, all these things. So for example, imagine a person who is earning illegal money through corruption or crime. Now, for example, okay, so here a person was earning the illegal money through corruption or crime. Now, for example, a contractor takes a bribe and then uses this money to buy a house, car, or other investment. Okay, so now this bribe is given to any contractor, and this bribe is now used to buy house, cars, or any other thing. Now, this money looks clean on paper because the house and other properties are bought, but actually it came from illegal sources. So this process of making illegal money to look legal is money laundering, right? And this is the complete thing to which ED looks at. So now ED comes into the picture. So what is the job of ED? First of all, ED will trace that from where illegal money is coming. After that, ED will track how it was used or how it was hidden. And then ED will attach the properties like house, cars, etc., which were bought. And finally, ED will arrest the person who earned the illegal money and gave bribe to the contractor. So this is the complete functioning of ED. Now, a very small scheme, not many things are available on the site, but a small scheme. It has been approved by the center, that is Bhavya scheme. So, what is the full form? Bharat Audyogik Vikas Yojana. So, let's discuss briefly about this scheme. So, first of all, the subject only, the objective. What is the objective of the scheme? So, the main objective is the Audyogik Vikas, that is the industrial development. So, the cabinet approved this Bhavya scheme to develop 100 plug and play industrial parks. So what is the meaning of plug and play? See, plug and play concept is used under the no infrastructure ecosystem, where infrastructure and industrial parks are building. So main objective is that the infrastructure is ready to use immediately. For example, no, I want to set up a medical park or IT park. So all the if all these infrastructure are immediately ready, no, then investors will be ready to invest. That no factories have an idea. Okay, if infrastructure is there, from next day only I can start. So plug and play model means everything like infrastructure, other ecosystem is immediately available with the minimum setup. No, it's just like plugging in a device and starting it. So this is the meaning of plug and play model. So under Bhavya scheme, the main objective is to develop 100 plug and play industrial parks all across India. Okay, so this scheme aims to promote the manufacturing-led growth under Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan, Industrial Corridor Development Program, and this program is implemented under Ministry of Commerce, under DPIIT, Ministry of Commerce. So these are no very small things related to news. So what all things you have to remember? Maybe you can remember the full form for other government exams. Then second thing you have to remember the about the objective of this under Prevention of Money Laundering Act PMLA. So you have to provide me answer in the comment section what all statements are right or wrong. And if you have any doubt, then ask in the comment section. And yes, Patalkot Valley is located in Madhya Pradesh. Okay, so I think these were the places in news. All these articles we have discussed. Okay, so I think that's it for the discussion of 19th March. And yes, we shall meet in the next lecture. Thank you.